All right, guys. So let's talk about sex and money, some of the most potent topics that exist. And in particular, I want to be talking about why some men cannot win with women or money. Now, some guys, they'll have success in one area, but not in the other. But I would say that there is a general overlapping principle here. And really, what it comes down to is dishonesty. Okay. I believe that one of the biggest ways that you can screw things up sexually for yourself or screw things up financially for yourself is by being a liar. Okay. And the way that a lot of guys will do this is that they will try to hide their intent. They will hide their intent because they are afraid of being honest and then risking rejection. And we have a word for these kind of guys. We call them nice guys. All right. So we all know what this like is in romance, right? So the nice guy, he will identify a woman that he wants to bone, and then he gives her attention, affection, maybe even resources, right? But when he's doing it, he pretends like the reason he's giving this woman all this attention is purely out of the kindness of his heart. He's just that nice of a guy, right? Like, oh, he's not trying to get anything from her. No, 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 never, never. He's just so giving. And obviously this is fake, but secretly he hopes that if he does this, eventually she will see how much of a sweet little boy he is and then sleep with him, right? And it doesn't work at all because he's presenting himself as a sweet little boy who likes to be, give her goodies and stuff. And she's just going to treat him like that. Okay. Right. Like instead of just being honest and being like, hey, I think you're hot. I want to pursue a romantic relationship with you, or I think you're interesting or sexy or whatever. Instead of making that clear, he just tries to dance around it so that he doesn't need to like be rejected, right? Because if you make that intent clear and she says no, well, then what she's saying is that I don't find you like that. Right. So that's what the thing is. The guy's, he's just trying to protect himself. He's just trying to win her over gently. And often what this does, it just gives women, kind of the ick and it just opens yourself up to being abused. And what's really sad is that this actually happens all the time, even to married guys, right? So many married guys have been friend zoned in their own marriage by their own wives. Why? Because they stopped basically being honest. Like, hey, I'm really like this sexual component. It's kind of essential to me. Like that's kind of why we got married. I wouldn't have married you if that sexual component didn't matter, right? Like he's kind of just like, oh, well, now I'm just a provider. Now I just like, I got to do chores. I got to take care of the honeydew list. I got to take care of the kids. I got to be there for her emotional needs. And then he's just kind of hoping that if he just keeps being a good boy in all those areas, then eventually she's going to reward him with sex. And, maybe sometimes she does, but usually it's not fulfilling. And, it's kind of lacking that passion that he really wants. And I think a lot of it just comes down to this lack of honesty, which shows up in relationships, but then it shows up in many other parts of life as well. And one of those big areas that guys struggle with is in business. Okay. So how might this show up for the employed guy? Well, it might just be that like you think that if I'm just a good little employee, then eventually I'll be rewarded by my bosses and they'll give me a 2% raise or whatever. Okay. And if you just approach it from that like nice guy mentality, what you're basically saying is like, I just like to work hard. I'm just that kind of guy. And they're like, okay, sweet. Well, if you're just that kind of guy and you're doing it for this pay rate, well, then you'll just keep doing it for this pay rate. And that's what happens. You'll get passed up by the, the guy who's obnoxious or the woman who knows how to play the politics or whatever. But I also see this a lot with entrepreneurs. And this is kind of what I'm more familiar with. I was in the corporate world for like 3 months. So like, much more in tune with what business owners, how they show up as the nice guys, right? Like you got the content creators who will put out endless value content while never actually promoting their paid work. Okay. They don't want to ask for anything from their audience. They don't want to ever do a sales email because someone might say, hey, I thought you really cared about helping us, but here you are just pitching your stupid program, man. Ugh. It's just like you're terrified of getting a message like that. Or maybe it's like a sales call where you back down at the slightest hint of resistance where it's like, oh, yeah, no, yeah, okay, yeah, oh, you got an objection? Yeah, maybe this isn't right for you. It's okay. It's just like you back down. You're like... You just are afraid to say, hey, no, I want to make something happen with you. I want your money. And I want to give you something incredible, right? I want to give you something fantastic that's really useful to you. Or maybe Another way business guys will do this is refusing to renegotiate the bad deal because you're afraid that other side might walk, thinking like, oh, I gotta keep eating it, or like I have to like keep putting up with these crappy clients or whatever because like I need them. It's just like this needy, like scarcity-based mentality where you're afraid to say, listen, I want to make money doing this, but I want to give you even more value. But reality is, obviously, this is about money for me, okay? And I want him to be properly compensated. There is nothing wrong with absolutely owning that. And this is the key with romance too. Like I said, it's just be honest. Now, before you accuse me of being shallow, okay? Yes, romance isn't just about sex, and business isn't just about money, right? Like a romance can be about, connection. There can be, kind of friendship there. There can be, enjoyment of each other, like, raising kids, all this kind of stuff, all these other things that aren't just sex. But once you take sex out of it, it is no longer a romance, right? At least a sexual tension, as long as there has to be a sexual component, right? Otherwise, it's not romance. You're talking about something else entirely, all right? It's the foundational, essential piece. Same thing with business, okay? Like business could be about a lot of things. It can be about changing the world. It can be about working with people you love. It can be about doing work that you love. But at the end of the day, if you take the money piece out, it's no longer business, right? That's the key. Right? So we cannot deny the foundation of things, and we cannot be afraid to talk about what the foundation of the whole thing is. Okay, that's the key. Any place you're lying about your foundational intent, trying to obscure the foundational intent, you are castrating your own power. Okay, so whether it's love, whether it's money, stop hiding. If you're romantically interested, say so, and don't settle for friendship. If you're looking to do business, don't settle for just delivering value, okay? Yes, people might get mad. They might call you shallow for being brazen about this, but only the people who are expecting to just take advantage of you to begin with, okay? I've had a lot of people leave nasty comments on my content because guess what? In every piece of content that I do, I ask for a CTA. I say, hey, come do this thing. Come enter into my sales funnel. Why? Because I want to do business with you. Why? Because, well, I want to support my family doing the stuff that I love, and I want to make your life a million times better. I'm not shy about that, right? And so when you're actually doing this, when you're being brazen about who you are, yeah, you're going to push away the freeloaders, but that's what you want. And then the people that are interested in what you offer, they're going to be drawn to you like a magnet, okay? So ask for what you want, refuse to mince words. And when you do this, watch what happens. Watch the shift that occurs. So speaking of asking for what you want, here's what I want, okay? I am looking to eradicate porn use in Christian fathers, particularly ones who have their own businesses. Why? Well, because, they're me. That's what I am. I'm a Catholic. I got a kid. I'm an entrepreneur. Okay. It's like what I know best. And so because of that, it's just one of those things where it's like, I believe I'm, one of the best in the world at helping people quit porn. So I'm like, all right, let's absolutely dominate this part of the niche, this part of the audience segment. Okay. If you're like me and you've got a porn problem, I find that unacceptable because I can help you not be that. Right? I can help you eliminate your digital escapism so that you can show up with full alignment spiritually, morally, financially, right? Productively, in your relationships, all of this kind of thing. And I know that porn and all those other kinds of escapism, they just disrupt that. They screw it all up. They screw the whole thing up. Even if you're doing pretty well, you could be doing a million times better without this crap in your life. And I want to help you do it. So if you fit that category, okay, I want you to click the link in the description and I want you to book a discovery call with us. All right. In it, we're going to explain to you how we can help you eliminate your escapism by creating a life that you do not want to run away from to begin with. All right. This isn't just like some lame white knuckle, like just, fight your way through it or pray your way through it. Okay. It's like, no, this is a proven strategy that just makes your life better and better and better. That's what I have for you guys today. Like I said, if you're a Christian entrepreneur father, book a discovery call with us. I want to work with you. Ooh, yeah. See you on the next one.